What's up, everybody? You know what time it is, 9 o'clock Central from the Forum. And this week, we're here to let you know that every win matters. Don't give up. The season's not done. And even if your season is done, you can still wreck it for somebody else. Let's have a good night. See you on the other side. What's up? What's up, Joe? Visiting the in-laws. It's Thanksgiving. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a tree ornament. Oh, it's one of those things.
It's like gas station liquor. It's terrible. It's delicious. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all of our followers out there. We're so happy that you are spending this Blackout Friday with us. I'm not quite there yet, but we'll see if we can get there by the end of the show. We got a lot of good things cooked up for you. It's going to be a fun time. Great slate, Tyler, yesterday. I was thinking about it this morning. I think this might have been the best 3 games of Thanksgiving football in the history of Thanksgiving football. It was awesome to watch.
It was incredible. And one of the things that I loved about, obviously we had a bunch of really good games, but what was funny was the reactions to the turkey post game. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, let me get a drumstick and take a bite like normal. Like freaking Jake Ferguson put his hand with the turkey and then fed it to everybody.
No, you don't. No.
It was
the convention says that you can't do that to a turkey on live TV. Like, that's crazy.
But it was a great game. We had some huge games. Some Dallas. Dallas is on a little streak. They're trying to make waves, make a run for it. They're 2 games behind the Eagles right now. So it's not out of the question. And the Eagles are playing bad. They're playing bad.
Brutal. They look brutal. And you know what? I feel a lot better about the Steelers losing to the Bears last week. The Bears look legit. And everyone's been saying, well, they didn't have their entire linebacker room. Why didn't you do more with it? Saquon got shut down. I don't know how they have any confidence in that play calling right now in Philly. It is going to get really ugly. And it's going to be crazy to see what happens with that. I don't have a lot of confidence in them right now. But to be honest with you, Tyler, I don't have a lot of confidence. Like, who do you think is the Super Bowl favorite right now? Because it feels like week to week, everybody is so up and down. I think the team that I have most confidence in right now, it might be the Rams.
Let me tell you, this is the NFC especially is wild. Like, we've got 2 divisions in the NFC that are fighting to have 3 teams present. You've got the NFC North, you got Chicago at 9-3, Green Bay at 8-3-1, and then you got Detroit at 7-5, juggernaut, right? So then you go down, you go to NFC West, you got the Rams at 9-2, you got Seattle at 8-3, and you got San Francisco at 8-4. All fighting for the playoffs. Like, this is the most competitive league year that I can remember, like, that you didn't have like an automatic, like everybody has 2 losses, everybody has at least 2 losses.
It's bad when they're showing like the 3-8 teams on the in the hunt graphics.
Yeah, no, right.
It's like, no, they are not in the hunt. Like, it's done. It's done. But also, if you look at the AFC, the Chiefs, not in the playoff picture right now. The Ravens, not in the playoff picture right now. The Bengals, obviously Joe Burrow was hurt for a while, not in the playoff picture right now. But 3 of the top 4 QBs. And then you have the Bills. They're 7th right now. So there is a lot of talent at the quarterback position that you are not seeing perform in the way that we'd expect at the start of this season. And it's really anybody's league right now. It's going to be really curious to watch how these last few weeks unfold. It's really anybody's game. And, I think that translates to fantasy as well. So tonight we're going to talk about, hey, if you still have a chance, if you haven't gotten the red X of shame from Sleeper, or if you haven't been eliminated on ESPN, keep going, keep playing. Anything can happen. and let's make some noise. And it works. You get to play spoiler. And that's also a ton of fun, especially in home leagues, because there's nothing better than dogging on your friends and making them feel bad about what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I have a couple that I am like right there scraping to get in. I'm on like a 4-game win streak. My wide receivers are finally pumping.
Yeah.
You know, we're grinding it out. Happened a little bit late for some, but you know, it's a good year. You know, it's crazy. It's just been an awesome season for me. I've really enjoyed actually watching football and of course playing fantasy. We had try hard in the chat first thing. What happened to the Ravens? NFC blowing up. Look, the Ravens look rough. Dev said, can't say that word, Ravens. Weird game. And here for the wrecking. Look, it was a weird game. The Ravens are, you know, despite that roster, are struggling. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's O-line issues. I don't know if Lamar's just not feeling it. What's your thoughts? Why are the Ravens so rough?
I don't know what it is, but Derrick Henry, what do we do with Derrick Henry when it's cold outside? Tyler, what do we do in that situation?
We usually start him. He's usually gangbusters in the winter.
We feed that guy the rock. That man had 6 yards per carry last night, and after the first drive, they didn't use him. And I don't know why they go away from him. Like, they play almost like they want to prove that they were right about Lamar, even though he's already won multiple MVPs and like all of these different things. It's so bizarre. But here was a stat that I saw yesterday that is shocking to me. Would you believe it if I told you that Lamar Jackson has not thrown a passing touchdown in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's where I'm at. Is like, I think that maybe it's a lack of like a real, well, I think they have a wide receiver one in Hopkins, but they're not throwing him the ball. He's getting like 2 targets a game. But
did you see that PFF has Hopkins on the year as their wide receiver 10?
It's crazy.
And like they show that on TV, and it's like, you guys need to stop.
No, I mean, it was there. It was if Lamar could throw, but nobody's feasting. Nobody in the Ravens game is feasting. And you know, Zay is not a wide receiver one. He is a wide receiver 2. He's a slot guy. He's like a give him the ball and let him make plays. He's not like your outside route guy, you know, that's going to catch him over
not
the
an
top.
X receiver for sure, but I think that he has the tools to be productive, but I don't think that they feature him in a way that's productive for that offense.
Well, productive doesn't mean you're ace. If you get what I'm saying, like,
sure,
he doesn't feel like an ace. He feels like a B.
Yeah, I feel like in an ideal situation, yeah, he is I get separation. I do good things between the 20s. And then you have like the big guy that can jump up and do stuff. But I have a lot of faith in Zay. I think that they just underutilize him. They use him as like this PPR merchant. And I think he's capable of so much more. But like we talked about before the year, I mean, you had pointed this out. It was like, hey, when we get into the red zone, it's going to be Hopkins. It's going to then be Mark Andrews. It's going to be Derrick Henry. It's going to be Lamar Jackson who's going to run it in. Where does Zay get those points? And outside of big plays, he really doesn't. He had the touchdown called back on like the ticky-tacky pass interference. I mean, it was the full arm extension. So from the optics of it, it was clear. But if you saw the actual push itself, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, this team is in disarray. They kind of were on a heater here for a little bit. They struggled with Lamar out. You thought they were going to do more once he came back, but the offense is not humming. I don't think that hamstring is healthy. If you look at his inability to avoid sacks, which has been the calling card for Lamar his entire career, getting out of unwinnable situations, almost like a Harry Houdini, he has not been doing that at all this season. And I think that he's trying to gut this out and play through it, but I don't think he's anywhere near 100%.
Yeah, I would agree. We're going to hit some of the chat. We're starting to get some questions, so make sure you get those answered. By the way, you guys know we are your Q&A show. Drop your questions in the chat. We'll make sure to try to give you some feedback. So far, I'm hitting. We called the Christian Watson boom. Joe called the Jameson Williams boom, which I wish I would have listened to because I do have him in one league, and I had him on the bench. Now, I had him on the bench for a good reason for my other 2 starters, but I was on the edge because I was like, it could be a good game. Nobody planned on Amon-Ra going down, which has decimated
That
people's
changed
career.
everything for sure.
Yeah, that changed everything. But you know, we've been on a heater. So drop those questions in the chat. We got Dev. I'll kick it off. Appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit the sub. Hanging by a thread in a home league. 6-point passing touchdown. Dart or Brissett this week.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
So for me, you got to roll with Jackson Dart. That rushing upside that he has is just too good. He's been so consistent. I mean, if you just look at his finishes, he has been quarterback 3, 7, 13, 3, 3, 3. And a lot of that is because of the rushing upside that he has. He's had 50-plus yards in 5 of the 7 games that he played. You talk about Daniel Jones being Vanilla Vic. Nah, man, it's Jackson Dart. That being said, if you wanted to pivot to Brissett, I don't hate the move. I have Jackson Dart as my number 2 quarterback this week. I have Jacoby Brissett at 5 against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has been absolute garbage against the pass. They're by far the best matchup on paper for Brissett. He might be getting Marv back this weekend. So I just like the upside of Dart. They're going up against New England, who's been a solid matchup. But it's just that rushing upside for me. It gives you that floor. People are saying like, hey, like he's had like all these concussion issues. He actually came out and said something about it this week. He was like, 3 of the 4 games that I have gone into the tent, it had nothing to do with concussions. He was like, I've been trying to slide more as I've adjusted to the league, and I got hurt on a fumble. So it was kind of like a fluky thing. He's like, I'm not Cam Scattaboo. Like, I'm not built like that. Let's just see what we can do. But I'm going to go with Dart here. He's just been absolute money. Brissett's been a great story. That offense has been humming. But I think, Dev, regardless of who you pick, you're going to be feeling pretty good about yourself.
The hard part is we really need a tiebreaker here because I think I'm on the other side. And the only reason really that New England defense is nasty. And kudos to Mike Vrabel. You get dissed from the Titans. You wait patiently. You get a job in New England, and they're freaking leading the league at 10-2. Absolute stellar. But Brissett has been good for 300-plus yards and 2 touchdowns almost every single game. And since this is a 6-point passing touchdown league, I think that gives him a little bit of an edge over Dart. Dart's average yards in a game is like 200. So you're looking at 100 less, which is maybe 4 less points. And then throwing, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, it's off, but he does get the rushing touchdowns. I don't think that rushing upside is there as much against a New England defense.
Sure.
I think it's going to be tough for them to move the ball. And I think Vrabel's going to slow the game down. I think he's going to run the football a lot because he's not going to need to score 50 points to win this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I like Brissett to play against Tampa. Tampa's trying to hold down that, that lead for their conference. I think that game could have more points.
Do you think that Baker plays this weekend with the shoulder?
I think he plays. It's his off shoulder, so it's not like it's going to stop him from playing. I do think it hurts him when he throws, but he's a gamer. Like that's one thing about Baker is like Baker's kind of got a little bit of that Stafford in him. Like Stafford comes in with his shoulder completely out of the socket, and throws a game-winning touchdown. Like Baker's kind of got that kind of grit. He's like, I don't care. I'm in. I'm playing. Right. Let's go. And so I don't think they're going to be able to keep him out. And that defense has not been – it's good. Vita Vea is really good at stopping up the middle. They're going to throw. Like the Cardinals will win that game throwing.
Yeah.
But, Dart's also great. I think, like you said, you have them, 2-5? I think that's the difference. They're right there. It's just more who you feel. Dev, I'm going to say go with your gut. We both put out some really good points here. So rock from there. He said, let's see, next question. He said, half-point PPR, pick 2, Judy, Marv, Mooney, or Franklin. Look, I've got Franklin really high this week.
Me too.
I'm rolling with Franklin. And then, I don't know if Marv – they say he's going to play. If I have to pick two, I think that's my second.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I mean, Mooney looked
But I
better
don't love
last
it.
week, but he didn't have a lot of volume. He just happened to score the touchdown. Judy Shador is such a wild card right now, and it's supposed to be terrible weather in Cleveland. The last that I heard, my wife checked the ring camera this morning because we're out of town, and she said that we've got multiple inches of snow on the ground. So I don't know what you think about Shador in the snow this weekend, but it could be something to monitor. You think that they're going to continue to run that same play that they had, even if he attacks Judy quite a bit. I just don't think there's going to be enough volume there. I think they're going to lean on Quinshawn. So to me, if Marv is playing, I would go with him. I'm with you. I'm not sure if it happens. I could see them waiting one more week. If they don't play Marv, I would probably play Mooney because Kirk Cousins, for as much crap as I gave him 2 weeks ago, he actually looked decent last week.
He looked decent, and he likes Mooney. Like sometimes it's about like you look at the way, you look at the way Penix plays or the way that Kirk plays. They have their guys, and Mooney's always been a guy for Kirk. So like if Marv doesn't play, I agree. I pivot to Mooney. I don't want any Judy. I think that's a Quinshon Judkins game. I have him pretty high this week. I think he's gonna, and even like last week, both twice outside of the inside the 5, they ran Wildcat to Judkins and he just punched it in. So it's like I like Judkins in that game. I don't want any Judy. So it's Franklin, Marv, Mooney is the order there. All right, keeping it moving. Albert, what's up, fellas? Albert, appreciate you tuning in. Always a friend.
Is everywhere. Albert is everywhere all the time. Like, talk about like goats of fantasy football. Like, Albert is the king.
Got Calvin Hankins in the chat. Fellas, quick question. Would you start a healthy BTJ against leaky Titans defense over Egbuka with injured Baker? This is tricky. I'm going to go yes. And the reason that I'm going to go yes, follow me here, Joe, because I already see you shaking your head. The Titans are really leaky. And
they are very leaky. I'll give you that.
it takes one catch, like one play. Egbuka has been underwhelming for like 3 weeks in a row. Even just without Godwin, without like they're struggling to throw the ball. They're running it more. They're not getting even like you look at his targets, right? So New England, 13 targets, 6 catches, touchdown. That was his best game. Since then, Buffalo, who's not great, 5 catches, 40 yards, no touchdowns, 9 targets. Rams, 8 targets, 3 catches, 4 yards, for 32 yards. Like, it's not what we need from him. Arizona is a little bit of a
Arizona's been stout in the last 3 weeks. They've only given up
not as bad as you think.
Points. Yeah, they're mostly attacked from the ground.
Yeah, they need some linebackers.
Yeah, they do. They've got some injuries back there, but I just don't like playing players the week that they come back from soft tissue injuries, especially when they've been out as long as Brian Thomas has. It is a great matchup. I hear you, but I'm just not ready. And we haven't seen it from him this year. It's not one of those things where he was performing really well, got hurt, and now he's coming back. Like, he has been booty butt cheeks, and now we're just expecting it to be different. I don't see it.
Booty butt cheeks might be a little bit far. But I will tell you this. On my sleeper list this week, I do have that Jacksonville tight end, Brenton Strange.
Strange is the truth.
He's going to eat. He had almost 100 yards last week, and they're just getting going. His first game back, and, it was stellar. So I like Brenton Strange. I think that these two also are like a 1A, 1B for me. Like, if I have them, they're both going in the lineup. If I have to pick between one, I might lean BTJ just because of the matchup. And I don't see Tampa. Like, the game's just not going to be crazy to me. But
the only way that I would even contemplate it is if Teddy Two Gloves is playing this week.
Penn State, Brenton Strange, stud.
It's actually insane, like the number of tight ends that Penn State's crushed out there, like in the last few years, because that was one of my complaints about Tyler Warren. It was like, where have you been? And it was just like, all right, well, they had Strange, they had, I think, Theo Johnson, right?
Look,
Like
yeah, Penn
different
State
guys.
is like number one to not use their tight ends. Like
Right.
they will have talent and they will not use them. And then they get to the league and you're like, oh my gosh, where did this person come from? Like, how long did it take Tyler Warren to get playing time?
It took
You
it to a
know,
senior year pretty much.
yeah. And Theo Johnson, I knew he was good. I took him in a bunch of dynasty leagues, but it's hard because of Penn State. You're not getting that crazy, you're getting those crazy stats that you see across the league for people like Kyle Pitts or, you know. Anyways, no, Brenton Strange has been sitting back there for a while. And, I will say this in Dynasty. If you play a lot of Dynasty fantasy football, when you draft tight ends, you kind of have to like go on talent, but then you got to sit on them because like it takes time. It takes time for they pop off. You rarely get like a year one blowout stud.
Well, which is funny because the last 2 or 3 years, the fantasy one tight end has been a rookie. But historically, you're right. That hasn't been the case. Like it takes a while.
Yeah. Now you get some like Trey McBride. I like Trey McBride. It took him. He wasn't immediate.
Well, he got Zach Ertz. Yeah.
Laporta was immediate, but it took time.
Bowers. Yeah.
Yeah, Bowers was immediate, but then you look at it like even Pitt still hasn't emerged. Evan Ingram took a minute.
Pitt's had 1,000 yards that rookie season. He did all of the things. It's just it hasn't been quite.
It wasn't what you expected.
It's not what you expect from like the 4th overall pick for sure.
Devi Shifu in the chat, Gasecki and Fryermuth. Yeah.
Man, it's hard seeing Chris being referred to as the Devi Shifu in here because it's like always the Chris the Cardman for me.
Dude, I can't wait. We've got some great content coming this offseason from the Fantasy Sports Vice Network on rookie stuff. Chris, just been the Devi Dojo crew has been absolutely dusting, killing it. I'm really excited to get our rookie guide out this year. It's going to be awesome. If you're looking to figure out who can get you over the hump, you need to be tuned in because we're going to have it coming for you on this channel. So we're pumped about that. All right.
No, I think that Chris and Dustin are probably some of the 2 best resources that we have. And I'm not just saying that because he's in the chat, but the amount of like effort and work that they put in to like know the college game, it's truly impressive.
He said, yeah, maybe I should switch that hat.
It's all right. You got to keep it mixed up. I like it.
All right. Jason Ortiz in the chat. Must be a wide receiver at least. One must be start 3. One must be a wide receiver at least. Sutton, Scary Terry, DK, Kyron, Tracy, Neal, need upside. Kyron's definitely in there for me.
Tracy
against New England.
But he's been balling the last 2 weeks. They've been using him a ton. I get it, but like out of the rest of this list, I have the most confidence in Tyrone Tracy. Okay. Ever since they switched coaches, Tyrone Tracy has been that guy for him.
I'll give it to you, Tracy. And then, so who's number 3 for you?
Man, we just talked about like Troy Franklin. I have over Sutton. Like I think he's overtaken him as like Bo's number 1 guy. So it's like I struggle with Sutton. Although I do like that matchup. It's pretty solid for Denver this week. They're going up against Washington. Washington's a wet napkin on defense. So that immediately sticks out to me. Scary Terry with Mariota, that means nothing to me. DK like has randomly just popped off at times, but I don't know if I can trust it. And then Devin Neal, we don't even know if he's going to play yet. He's also banged up. So I think by deduction, I'm going with Sutton.
Okay. I don't hate it. I think that the DK, Terry, and Sutton, like Neal, they're all in the same. Here you go. You got Scary Terry coming off injury. Potentially, but even healthy, he's been okay. He has about the same upside as DK, is like where you're hoping for like 1 big touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Then you got Sutton. He's at least been a little more. You got Neal, who's going to get if he's healthy, he's going to get a bulk load of the work. That's where I shift a little bit. If Neal goes into the Sunday and he's no injury designation, he's full go, that's where
you can't, because you have to have 1 wide receiver, and you're not going to play Neal over either of those other 2
guys. Oh, yeah, one's going to be wide receiver.
Yeah, unless you're going to play Neal over Tracy, which who's New England got this week? They're playing Miami. Miami, I don't know what's in the water over there, but their rush defense has become insane. Remember when they were the hey, start everyone against Miami and they're going to break a world record? In the last 3 weeks, Miami has only given up 18.7 points in full PPR, and that's going against Baltimore, Buffalo, and Washington. Now, Washington, I don't care about their rushing attack, but you're telling me that when you have Derrick Henry and you have James Cook playing against you and you were a plus matchup, you've done something in that room. I don't know what Mike McDaniel did, but they are motivated and they're stopping the run. So I know that Devin Neal is the hot, sexy option with Alvin Kamara being hurt, which interestingly enough, I thought his season was done, but they're not going to put him on IR. But I would not feel good about playing Devin Neal this week.
Fair enough. So it sounds like, well, we got to go wide receiver anyway. So it's going to be Sutton or DK, and we'll go Sutton. I do want to post this. I'm going to post this in the chat link to the Devi Dojo's most recent show. Just giving a shout out to Devi Sensei and Devi Shifu, doing great work over there on the Grindhouse Network. And we'll be coming over to the FSAN network this season. Pumped about that. So I'm going to share that link. Make sure y'all go check it out. Lots of great college prospect information. If you're trying to get up on your league, especially in Dynasty, you want to know, especially the deeper guys that nobody else knows. Like you know the main guys, but even the quarterbacks. Like this year, the quarterbacks seem like there's a few that could be number one overall, and so it'd be great to check in and get that information over there.
Yeah, they just had a good write-up and been talking about a lot about someone they just posted about today, Emmett Johnson. He's a running back for Nebraska. Somebody I've never even heard the name. I don't watch a lot of college football. I went to a D3 school, so I don't have that allegiance that sucks me in. But it's if Chris or Dustin are hey, this is a guy you need to pay attention to, it's I will probably be drafting you in some capacity when the time comes for it. So it's almost like a cheat code. It's so sick. So definitely give those guys a look. They do a lot of cool stuff. So much appreciation for those guys over there.
All right, keeping it going. Start four must be wide receivers at least. So let's. Rico is actually on my bust list this week, but in this group,
so Pittman has a tough matchup against Houston. I don't feel great about it, especially because Danny Dimes is playing with a broken leg. Hold on. Let's just how does that happen? How do you have a broken leg and they're he's probably going to play? That just doesn't compute to me.
It's just fractured.
Oh, my bad.
Tape it up. It'll be all right. You ever halfway broke a pencil, and you just tape it up and you can use it for a few more months?
No, man. I went to a charter school. We did everything on a laptop. We won't be messing with that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Look, us our trailer park folk.
Hey, man, it'd be like that sometime. But I think there's a couple obvious ones. I think Ladd and Waddle are your two must starts. So that takes out the requirement from the receiver perspective. I don't like Pittman this week just because of the matchup with Houston. I think that there's gonna be some room to work there. But that Houston defense, they are phenomenal. If you look at what they did last week, they're out of this world. I don't feel comfortable playing anybody that's up against Houston. Shakir, he had a great game last week. Is it sustainable week to week? I don't know, but you are playing the Steelers, which they can't cover anything. So I think you like that, especially because their left tackle, right tackle, both out this week. So as a result, they're going to be looking for quick throws. I haven't heard anything. Do you know if Keon Coleman's even playing? Is he still on the team? What's going on with that?
That's about the production you're getting. It's very one-off.
But I think in a PPR format, I think Shakir becomes the next one. And then it's between Rico and Jalen. We talked about Rico being a bust for you this week. Jalen Warren, what's interesting, at the beginning of the year, he was getting a lot of the dump offs. He is basically the new Najee Harris of the Steelers. He's in there first and second down. And then you have Kenny G come in there, getting that cleanup duty, getting that fourth and short fake tush push for the almost touchdown. So it's I would probably play Warren, but I don't feel great about it.
Even last week, Warren got 18 carries.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get his touches. And, Buffalo has not been hard to run on, which is crazy because everyone
runs on Buffalo. That's the thing. I think it's Hayden Winks he has like this, like one of many charts that he posts, and it's just like, where are people choosing to attack teams? And it's like, if you are playing against Buffalo, you are going to run the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Jaylen Warren, like you need him to get into the end zone, but I like his matchup a lot more than Rico. And it almost feels like, have the Carolina Panthers like fallen out of love with Rico a little bit?
No, they're just it's Chuba Hubbard has a C on his chest. And it's really hard. Like earlier in the season when he was getting touches, like he was doing really well. He got a little banged up. Rico had his opportunity. Rico did really well. I think they're really trying to do a 1A, 1B type deal. But it's just it takes time, and I think Hubbard has the locker room, which is, part of it. But I don't think it's a problem. I think they'll both be fine. It's but I'm going Warren here. I don't want Rico in this matchup this week.
Yeah.
That I think we go I think it's Warren. All right, keep moving. JD5 worth picking up? Currently have Burrow and Bo Nix. Got a free space, or should I pick up Bam Knight, Spears, or Pollard? Let me tell you, if you already have Joe Burrow or Bo Nix, I don't see a need to go and pick up JD5. I mean, he's struggling to stay healthy. He's getting beat up every game. They're definitely going to have to put some emphasis on the offensive line in the offseason. I'm not worried about it. You're fine at quarterback.
The only reason that you would ever do something like that was to play defense against like a matchup that you had. Like, oh, like they don't really have a good quarterback. I'm playing them this week. If he does play, this is worth it.
Yeah. All right. Start for must be two running backs at least. Vidal, Neal, Bam Knight, Carter, Shakir, Wandale. Oh man.
So the easy one for me is Wandale Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to go, I mean, Wandale and Shakir both. I think those are automatics. I think the running backs are all fringe. We could see Benson back this week potentially.
I don't think that he is. If you've seen the way that they've talked about it, they're like, we're taking it day by day. Like, da-da-da-da-da.
If he's not back, if Benson doesn't play, Bam Knight's the starter here.
Right. So I think Bam Knight, Shakir, Wandale Robinson. And then how do you feel? Do you think Amarian Hampton plays this week? Wow.
Amarian Hampton, they came out his ankle. He actually had a fracture. Yeah, I'm going Vidal here. I think that they ease Amarian Hampton.
I don't know if he plays this week because he hasn't been cleared yet.
Even if he does play, I think they ease him in. So for me, it's Vidal, Bam, Shakir, Wandale. If for some reason Benson is back or Omarian's back, that changes it. But I don't see either of those being back, especially they haven't taken on either of them off IR yet. So, and it's Saturday tomorrow. So, I'm not studying that. All right. Do you start defenses against your own players? For example, I have Genty and Chargers D. Is it good this week and I have them? Or Chargers D is good this week and I have them. Should I avoid that or doesn't it?
You have to play the Chargers defense this week. If that changes what you think about Genty, sure, maybe. But I have the Chargers. They're my number one defense this week.
See, here's the thing. Genty can still be productive. The Chargers defense, the Chargers defense is about secondary. Like Geno is going to get picked off. Like he's going to get picked off and he's going to get sacked. Like that's going to happen. That doesn't mean that Genty can't be the bright spot and be productive. That doesn't mean that Bowers can't have a game. Like they can both have good games. Like I'm not worried about that. When you have somebody like Genty, you have to start your stud. He's been, despite being on a really poor team, like he's consistently produced double-digit outings. Last week against Cleveland, and Cleveland's nasty. He had 8 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown, and that's the key. It's not just rushing. It's eight targets, 8 catches, and a touchdown outside of the rushing usage.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Amarian Hampton has already been declared out, by the way.
So that makes that easy.
And Trey Benson has also been declared out. And the lesser-known George Holani from Seattle has also been declared out, in case you were considering playing him this week.
Oh, all right. So to answer your question, it doesn't matter. You want to play the matchup, and sometimes like Genty can have a good game against a tough defense, and a defense can have a good game, especially if they're a scoring defense. Like if they get turnovers and score touchdowns, which the Chargers, I mean, really the Chargers have been about sacks. Like they have a ton of sacks this season.
Yeah.
And I mean, that doesn't change this week against Vegas. I mean, they're 5 sacks, 4 sacks, 6 sacks, 3 sacks. Like it's going to be fine. Let's see here. Keep rolling. We got Hype in the chat. Hey, Hype checking in. What's up, Hype? Thanks for tuning
You
in.
want to talk about like great finds for the Fantasy Sports Advice Network? Hype is a great find. That dude puts a lot of work in every week. You want to talk about people that are like great at thumbnails and just like small details that make their show awesome? Greg is that guy. So he has a lot of good takes. He always puts out like a boom player of the week. And then I feel like every week it's like Sunday night. And then I see the posts about like him being like, hey, remember that time I told you this guy was going to be good? And every week it's like clockwork. So that's just like another resource that you should be using if you're watching the show and you're like, hey, man, like I don't think that Tyler and Joe know what they're talking about. Probably true. These are people that you need to. Although I think we know a little bit.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Enough to win. You might take home Scott Fishbowl. We'll see.
I hope so, man. That'd be sick.
All right, so keeping rolling. I got to get through all these questions. Let's see. Hi, appreciate it. We got BHS Cardinal. Great show, fellas. Got Mark Schafter in the chat.
Schafter's in the chat.
Pick one: Rico, Walker, Judkins. Also, Tet or Michael Wilson, full PPR. Thanks. So if I'm picking one out of the 3 running backs, give me Judkins.
Yeah.
If I'm picking one out of the 2 wide receivers, give me Wilson.
Yeah. No. Hey, man, I'm with you. We talked about this before the show. I have been working on kind of just like a algorithmic way to determine rankings for wide receivers. It involves like yards per route run, targets inside the 20, fantasy points against, coverage scores, all these different things. Michael Wilson this week, wide receiver 2, according to that. Did I have the cojones to put him as wide receiver 2? No. But the dude's
been up there, bro.
I have him as a top 9. I had him at 9. And yeah, I'm with you on the Judkins thing. I thought I overcorrected on what I thought the Cleveland offense was going to do last week. I was like, well, are they going to be able to move the ball? Like, how's it going to work? Like, he's going to need to score. Not thinking about the fact, like, if they get remotely close, like, they might pick him up and throw him into the end zone. But I will say, Ken Walker, there's been a lot of talk this year about, like, how, like, you are going to need, like, a Charbonnet injury to make him more relevant. I do feel like, and I don't know if you felt this way, in recent weeks, they've leaned on Ken Walker a lot more than the 50-50 split that we saw at the beginning of the year. I'm still going Judkins, but I think it's important to call that out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's see. Keep rolling down. We got Michael Regine in the chat. Well, we got to go down here real quick. And thanks. Go Yachty just became a member. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for sponsoring the content. Real OG right there.
Speaking of amazing people that do great stuff for the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, not to sound like a broken record, Go Yachty. He is a fantastic resource, especially when it comes to like DFS. If you are into like anything that involves betting, that is a very knowledgeable source. I think I hit my first ticket in the first time in history in the frick era of like sports betting yesterday. I had an 8-legger. I got 7 out of 8 and got like a pity like $6 out of it. But like I felt like good, but I aspire to be to the level of like Go Yachty, like DFS Like that dude's money.
All right. Well, speaking, he dropped the question in, and then we'll get up to yours next.
No, he's bragging right now because he's talking about the smash up thing because he played the Jordan Love Christian Watson. He got 60 points in smash up, which is like absolutely insane. I loved it. It was great. He got the Jordan Love Christian Watson like double pair. He got the 40-yard pass from Watson for 30. He got the Jordan Love pass for 50, and it was sick. But yeah, let's go back to Mike Regine. I got Marks. I got Marks this week.
I don't want either one of these guys. Honestly, I don't know if this is a flex spot, but I'm probably looking elsewhere. I don't want either one of them. Marks has been very underwhelming, even though he's getting the touches. So if you lean, yeah, Joe, if you lean touches, I go Marks. If you lean matchup, I go Marks. But I'm not really happy about it. Like I'm playing them down at the bottom of my lineup, and I'm like, I guess I got to, type deal. Got fantasy. You guys know a whole lot. I'm just a dude, just giving some love there.
Stop it.
Much appreciated. He said, "Who's your favorite start outside of the obvious must starts on Sunday?" Sleepers, we've talked about it. I don't know if they really count as sleepers. Michael Wilson's good. I'm high on Brenton Strange this week. I think Judkins can have a big week. I think there's a lot of people out there. I can't let you all know because I know Goyati's in the chat, and I've got some of these sleepers in my smash up lineup, and so I can't let it all out. But there's a lot of
it turned into like a walking advertisement for people this week because if you're not on Smash Up Football, it is one of the coolest ways to play DFS. They basically give you these power-up cards where it adds like an entirely different element to the game. To be honest with you, the first time that Tyler told me about it, I was like, this is corny. Like, why would I want to do this? Like, why would I need cards? Like, I already like football. But, like, they do a lot of cool stuff where it's like, hey, like, if a player has a 30-yard run, we're going to give you, like, this crazy huge bonus. If instead of having PPR, you can pay up to get, like, PPR times 3. So it's just a lot of ways that make your roster construction all that more interesting. It's a lot more fun than I ever would have imagined.
Yeah, I love to start a quarterback that I know is going to have a bunch of incompletions and play that projectile dysfunction card. Where it's like I get a point per incompletion.
All-time name, by the way.
Yeah, so I can just I can save money on my quarterback spot, but still get a lot of points.
Yeah.
Michael said trying to line up 2 defense for rest of season playoffs. All the top defenses are taken now. I have Rams, Saints, Tampa. All good matchups coming up. Don't want to keep 3 defenses. Want 2 out of the 3. Well, I think an automatic keep probably here is the Rams. The Rams have been absolutely nuts. Sack City, and
Tampa Bay has been entirely the opposite. So I would never feel good about starting Tampa Bay. So I would just drop them immediately.
Dude, yeah, freaking. And you look at that matchup, you got the toughest ones week 15. You got Detroit, you got Seattle, you got Atlanta, Carolina. It's Sack City. It's Sack City for the Rams. They have an easy lineup. I don't know how they don't win this division. I mean, they
should be the 1 seed at the end of this for the NFC for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping them, and I'm probably playing them most. So if you're playing them every week, you got Carolina, Arizona, then you got a tough matchup against Detroit and a tough matchup
week 15.
Yeah, so we want to look for somebody that's going to be good week 15 or 16. So I'm going to pull up
here. So you have New Orleans against Carolina at home. I don't hate that. Another interesting one would be Chicago. They haven't been a great defense, but they have Cleveland at home. They live and die by turnovers. In Cleveland, with the quarterback situation that they have, it feels like they would be prone to something like that. There's just no way that I'm playing Tampa Bay.
I actually might go Tampa Bay, and this is why I say that.
Against Atlanta on Thursday.
Week 15 and week 16, you got Atlanta and Carolina.
Yeah, but their defense has just been so cheeks.
They're number 15 defense. Let me ask you this, Michael, if you're still in, one, hit the like button and sub because you're cool. Two, let us know maybe some of the top options that might be on the waiver wire, and let us look and see if there's somebody that we might can pick up better than this. Because even if they're not ranked high, defense gets trendy. Like you get people that go on runs that play well, that start getting going, and so just because they may not be a top 20 defense or top 10 defense right now doesn't mean they couldn't have a real, like it took a minute for the Texans to turn it on this season. You never know, it could pick up. So I would love to see some of the people that's out there right now. For me, I'm leading Rams with the Bucks, and I know you're not Bucks, but I just think the Saints week 14 and 15, is it 14 and 15 we're looking for? No, it's week 15
in general.
It's week 15 and 16 we're looking for. So here's where I go. For Tampa, week 15 and 16 is Atlanta. They're going to sack Kirk Cousins a bunch of times, and Carolina. Carolina's sneaky because for some reason Bryce Young turns it on at the end of the season. The Saints get Carolina and the Jets. So I don't hate that either.
Bryce Young plays really well against Atlanta is actually what it comes down to. There's something about Chick-fil-A that just like tears him up.
So there you go, answering that question. Keep bringing them, drop them in. Let's see, Go Yachty, or guys, a little shout out to Smash Up from the Fantasy Advantage, and then Go Yachty said, "Did we talk about what Joe is drinking out of? Is that an ornament?" He showed me that, Go Yachty, and I said the same thing. I was like, "Are you drinking out of a Christmas ornament?" Apparently,
this is a Biggie Buzzball. This is a 1.5 or 1.75, 15% alcohol Buzzball. It's like gas station liquor, which is absolutely terrible. But my sister bought this for Thanksgiving yesterday and like didn't have any about it. So I'm out here just doing the Lord's work and just making sure. So I drank half of it yesterday at my parents' house, fell asleep on the couch. We're back at it tonight. We'll end up in the hot tub post show, different website to watch that content. But
I don't want to watch you. I'm tuned out. I'm tuned out on that one. But for you viewers, you enjoy Joe's shenanigans on the show, go check that out. He'll post the link in the chat later. Anyways, got the Fantasy Advantage. How about them how about them Cowboys making a run for it? I've talked to that's funny, Joe only fans. Look, the funny thing is you guys gave me so much crap, especially you, Joe, because you were salty that you didn't get the production out of him in Pittsburgh that you wanted to. But I said George Pickens was a dog. George Pickens is proven that he is a dog. It doesn't matter if he goes out to the casino. It doesn't matter if he can be a little hard to deal with. The dude is a dog.
Oh, he's incredible for sure. The athlete is phenomenal. It's just how much will the person get into the way? And I hope for his sake, he's still a young cat. I hope that he can find a way to just like go get paid and do great stuff. How is he going to do when he gets franchise tagged this offseason?
Hey, look, you see this? That's the number 2. That's his ranking in fantasy as a wide receiver right now. That's number 2 wide receiver in fantasy. Eat it. Now, look, it's funny. I think that you hit it on the head. You got, he said, George Pickens is one of us for now. Dallas Cowboy for life. Look, I do think that there's a world where if he gets franchise tagged, he loses his mind. But I think there's also a world where, freaking Jerry Jones looks at this thing and he's like, this guy was better than CeeDee Lamb. He was better than CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had blatant drops. And so you're looking at it as like, man, do I just tie up the money? My defense sucks anyways. Like, do I just tie up the money and we go out and score a ton of points? We try to hit on defense in the draft. I mean, if you could lock in Lamb and Pickens. To
Can they
me,
afford Lamb, Pickens, and Dak's contract?
yeah, it's just going to be most of it's like Cincinnati going Bengals, Chase, Higgins, right?
Bengals, Pickens, yeah.
Except for I think that I would actually take Lamb and Pickens over Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Say that one more time.
I would take Lamb and Chase as a franchise owner. I would take Lamb and Pickens over Chase and Higgins.
Well, yeah, because the biggest knock on Higgins is that his inability to stay on the field.
Well, and he is not near. He's good at catching in traffic. He's not near the catching traffic that Pickens is.
If you hear the way that George Pickens talks about like how he approaches catching the football, it's actually fascinating. Like he just talks about like knowing like almost like the geometry of like how things are going to work out, and he can figure out where the ball is, so he can figure out where his body needs to be. It's like, is this the same dude that was just like in a shiesty during draft night? Like it's crazy. He's such an enigma, and I really hope like he's a phenomenal player. I don't have any ill will. I just can understand why the Steelers, who weren't like close to competing, would want to give that money up to him. But because if you put him on Pittsburgh this year, would he have the numbers that he has? No, absolutely not. Is he a phenomenal player? Absolutely. Like there's no reason to not say that, but it's going to be really interesting to see how Dallas handles it. And I think one of the things that's interesting is we're talking about Dallas. Why are they doing so well? Quinnen Williams is an absolute beast, tearing up the run.
Drop the truth, bro. That their run defense completely changed when they got Williams.
Completely changed. If you look in the last 3 weeks, Dallas has only given up 14.5 points in fantasy, and they played Philly, Las Vegas, Arizona. So you're taking Saquon Barkley, you have Ashton Genty, Arizona's like soup du jour, but 14 points in full PPR against running backs is absurd. And Quinnen Williams is like, it's one of those things that you'll never like see on the stat sheet, because like somebody that's just like a run stuffer, like there's not a lot of glory. Like you get some tackles here and there, but the dude is absolutely phenomenal. And did you see the report that Jerry Jones said that he offered Micah and a first for Quinnen Williams, and they turned it down for the Jets at the beginning of the season?
That's crazy.
I think that he might have misspoke and meant to say like he would have traded Micah for Quinnen Williams in a first, but I mean, the world will never know. Jerry is Jerry.
Look, here's the crazy thing. When you talk about the, Jerry Jones, like most Dallas fans go, oh, we hate Jerry. Get Jerry out of there. But you look at the moves that Jerry brought in Pickens. Jerry got Quinnen Williams, completely changed it. Jerry notoriously, you look at like even what was that? Jalen, the linebacker, the middle linebacker, they gave this huge contract, and then it was like a year later they dished him, and he like barely started for any other team in the NFL, and they had so much salary cap tied into him. Like he's slick and sly about it sometimes, but sometimes he really pulls through. Like Quinnen Williams move, like if you would have been Micah in a first, you would have been like, oh my God, that's crazy. But now you look at it and you're like, man, did you get a value since the Jets sucked? Like congratulations. Anyways, so we got Michael said he gave us a couple more defenses. So the question is, would we rather have one of these over the Bucks or Saints? You got Atlanta, Colts, Dallas, Detroit, Carolina. I looked at the matchups.
I got to look at those. Did you already look at like who's playing that week 15?
Yeah, week 15, 16. So Indianapolis has Seattle and San Francisco. I don't love that one.
No.
Falcons,
I do love Indianapolis' defense, especially with the addition of Sauce, but like, yeah, that's brutal matchups.
Yes, the Falcons have Tampa Bay and Arizona.
And their defense has been cheeks too. They started out hot, but like they've faded off quite a bit.
Yeah, they're still like pretty decent on the sacks. Like you look at Atlanta, right. New England 6 sacks, Indianapolis 7 sacks, Carolina 5 sacks, New Orleans 5 sacks. So like they're gonna get sacks, and I like them to do that against Tampa Bay and Arizona. So I don't hate that. I've been playing, Atlanta is the number 10 defense in the league. I don't mind having them, and I don't mind those matchups either. The Lions get the Rams, which I don't want, and then
Ooh, Dallas against Minnesota. If JJ's playing,
I didn't look up Dallas yet.
Dallas against Minnesota, that would be a must start on NBC.
It's Minnesota, but then you got the Chargers. You need a defense to cover 15 and 16 because the Rams have Detroit 15, and then they have Seattle 16.
See, but
I'm going to lock in the Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons against Tampa Bay and Arizona, especially with Baker already beat up. If it's Teddy B in Week 15, and then Arizona, you got Brissett. Like, it's fine. Brissett's going to throw the ball, but there's going to be picks. Like, there's going to be – I'm good with – I'll roll Falcons. Even if Arizona is able to score points in 16, they're going to get 5 sacks. They're going to get 5 to 6 sacks. Freaking Pierce has been awesome. Like, they're going to get –
my whole thing, though, is that Week 15 is the first round of the playoffs.
I'm not going to
worry about – No, I get that. But my point is like, I'm not going to worry about 16 before I get to 16. I would rather lock up.
Well, he's trying to grab the ones that he can hold.
No, I get that. But it's like, I would hold for 15, worry about 16 when you get, because no one's going to, if they're out of playoffs, like, they're not going to be grabbing people that are on the wire.
Look, here, and here's the deal. At the end of this, like, you can go into it with Rams, the number 2 defense, and Falcons, the number 10 overall defense. And they have the better matchups. The Colts, I think, are the number 8 overall defense, but they don't have good matchups those weeks. So rolling in with those 2 teams, I think you're good. And you may end up, like, if the Rams get on a heater, maybe you're not even worried about playing the Falcons except for that Tampa Bay game. Let's see here. We got – he said, Shoddy is the guy players want to play for. Agreed. It's been reserved for a while. Jerry finally did some modern NFL manager work. It's looking good. Then you got over on Twitch. Thanks for the love. Hit the subscribe button to the channel. We just started growing our Twitch channel this year. It's doing really well. So we appreciate the follow. It says, do you think this trade is vetoable or is it a good trade? So let me tell you first. I am very heavy against vetoing trades because I believe that, especially in Dynasty, like, people see value different, and you have to leave room for people to – because, like, there's been trades that people say, oh, that's crazy, but it ends up working out. So, like, you can't decide that for them. You just got to – now, if it's absolutely nuts, then sure. So if we –
redraft, though, if I had to guess.
If this is redraft – okay, you got Stafford and Henry for Herbert, Henderson, and Gadsden. I don't think this trade is vetoable. And the reason is Stafford is so far among the other quarterbacks. Like, I mean, you're talking about 3 to 4 touchdowns a week. Like, he is absolutely playing some of the best football he's played. If you need a quarterback spot, I mean, Stafford's an easy go.
He's quarterback 6 or 7 this year. He's been lights out, which, I mean, it makes sense. You have Puka and you have Devontae Adams.
He's quarterback 6, and he's averaged over the last 5 games. I'm gonna give you his touchdown count the last 5 games.
I'm gonna say what he's probably averaged like 3 and at least 3.
He's averaging 4, so 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, and then 3 touchdowns. So, like, that's like your floor, right? And that's just. I mean, he doesn't have any rushing touchdowns, but that's passing. They're throwing the ball. So Herbert is fine, but it's definitely an upgrade, especially because if you want consistency, Herbert is not consistent.
Well, especially now they have the offensive line completely decimated.
Yeah. Now Herbert does well. He's got a good game coming up week 13, but then it's not. I mean, he's got week 17, which is most people's fantasy championships. You got Houston, and Houston is the number 1 defense against quarterbacks. So
nice.
Like if I want Herbert or Stafford in the playoffs? Give me Stafford all day. And then as far as Henry, this is like your deal, right? Henry gets going in the winter. If you're doing this trade, you're thinking Henry's going to become the Henry that he always is. You are thinking
You're basing
Henderson.
it off of name recognition.
Yeah, you're thinking Henderson is going to fall, to the fact that Ramondre Stevenson's going to reemerge and Vrabel hates rookie running backs and Gadsden's just going to be okay. I don't think this trade's vetoable. I think it's a good trade. I think both people had different ideas of what they wanted and they made it happen.
I think that if you see Henderson retains the bell cow role in New England this week, that washes out all concern because you're looking at this from the sense of Henderson did nothing for a while. Henry is a Hall of Famer. Stafford's probably not that far off. I don't know if he's Hall of Famer quite yet, but he's like Hall of very good at least. Herbert's been on the downside. Gadsden, I mean, you got the stack there, but Gadsden, I mean, people probably view him as a top 6, top 7 tight end. So I don't think that you should veto unless it's like an absolute just like garbage dump.
That's close enough. All right, we're gonna hit these last couple questions. We're right at the 10 o'clock hour, so we're wrapping up. Herb Burrow, CMC, JT, QJ. Man, what a running back room. Oh, it's beautiful. Puka, Tet, Higgins, Franklin, beautiful. Warren Bauer, beautiful. 2-2-2 and a flex. Lineup recommendations for this week. Oh my God. Well, one, you can't not start CMC and JT just on workload.
And you already have your quarterback decided because
Higgins. I don't know if Higgins plays this week.
They already are done. That game happened already.
Yeah, right. So you're Puka and it's between Tet and Franklin for me. They're close. Maybe Tet on.
I would play T-Mac this week, and then I would play Warren over Bowers.
And then so for the flex, do you go Henderson? Because I think when you look at the long
Henderson, I think that Henderson has usurped that role.
But do you go Henderson or do you go Bowers?
No, I would go Henderson.
Okay. So there you go on that. He said let's see, fighting to solve. It said the commission, my league, vetoed me trading Judkins Marks to get Chase Brown because he said that it makes me stronger. One, that's stupid. If you want to, like, you can't, as a commissioner, you can't veto on your own perspective.
Yeah, that's terrible. You need friends. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, if you want to be in a real league, hit us in the DMs. We actually are going to – so Joe and I are going to create a listeners dynasty league this year.
Who is? About this?
For first-time dynasty players.
Oh, go back. We need a second flex. So the second flex will be Bowers.
Yeah, Bowers. Yeah, I'm with you. So I need another flex is Bowers. So you got lineup on that is CMC, JT, Puka, Tet, Henderson. Bowers. Puka, Tet, Warren, Henderson, Bowers. There you go. So we are announcing right now that Joe didn't know about. We are going to do a listener league, dynasty league in this offseason. It's going to be 16 teams.
Oh, man.
16 teams. And this is for first-time dynasty players. So if you've played redraft and you're wanting to get into playing dynasty fantasy football where you keep your team over the time, you draft rookie players, you build your team, trades, like it more full grasp, not redrafting every single year. That's what we're doing. We will commission it. It's going to be a blast. So if you're interested, make sure you hit us in the chat or shoot over an email to joe@fsan.com.
Yeah.
Freaking love it. All right. Thoughts on JT, Woody, Pittman, and Neal for Bucky, Rico, Olave, and Sean Tucker? One, if you're still allowed to trade, that's incredible. Bucky, Rico.
What side are you on?
I'm just going to say I want the JT side.
Of course you want the JT side.
Give me the best player. And you've got two potential upsides there. Bucky, we don't know.
Sean Tucker's dead to the water if Bucky's back. Rico is in a weird spot. So it's basically like if you filter out the noise here, it's Bucky and Olave for JT, Woody, and Pittman. Give me JT side.
Fighting solves everything. He said, I'm willing to fight my way into your league. Look, hit the email, joe@fsan.com if you want in. There's going to be 16 spots only for viewers of this show. And so thanks for the great answers. Appreciate you so much. Last option, running backs, Kyron Dowdle, Chase Brown, Woody, Corum. Someone dropped Pollard. Would you pick him up and stash if you have room? If I have Kyron Dowdle, Brown, Woody, and Corum, I might drop Woody or Corum for Pollard.
Woody, no. Corum, also no, because you have Kyron. It's like right now, is Pollard somebody you feel confident about putting in your lineup? It's like you're too late in the season. He's not going to be a league winner for you. I would say
I will say this. Pollard has a tough lineup. Like he's got a tough He's got Jacksonville this week, which is going to have a good week. If your trade deadline's still open after this week, trade him. But you got Jacksonville, then you got Cleveland, then you got San Francisco, then you got KC, like you got New Orleans, like the number 16. Like it's then Jacksonville again. And Jacksonville linebackers are nice. Like it's not that easy to just run on Jacksonville. So I'm actually probably in the world of trading away Pollard, which is probably why they dropped him. I think you could have an okay week this week, which may make him tradable. So there's thoughts there. Look, appreciate y'all for tuning in. He said, I appreciate your take on the Herbert trade, though I'm the one trading Herbert and wanted to see if it's fair.
Send it.
Send them on down. Hit the like button, hit the sub. Thanks for being here every week. You know we're here 9:00 Central every Friday night. We'll be here the rest of this season. We'll be here in the off season. Joe and his Christmas ornaments, me and my cup of water. It's always a good time from the forum. Appreciate you guys. Wow, what a great show. Thanks. Appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. Happy belated Thanksgiving and good luck week 13. Let's go.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com.